Look, I want to talk to you guys about something. Well, I've been going through a bit of a rough patch lately. I'm unemployed, I've no real work experience or skills. I have next to no social life, and I spend all of my days playing video games, lifting weights, and wallowing in self-pity and post-teenage angst. Now, I've been battling depression for a long time now. It'll go on and off, and for the most part, I tend to keep it under wraps. But I just feel I shouldn't do that anymore. It's not healthy. Now, about a week or so ago, I was actually contemplating it. I don't even need to say what it is. You know what it is. But as if some sort of sign, something happened. That something was the passing of Justin Carmical. I know this is a bit late, but I wanted to put some time and effort into it and not just rush it out because it really is a big issue and not enough people talk about it. For those who don't know, Justin Carmical was an internet personality who reviewed a lot of Japanese games, and he was a Kamen Rider fan, which clicks with me because I'm a huge fan of Kamen Rider myself, and like there's more to it than that. He wasn't just that, he was a lot more. He was a great person, and I never got to meet him. And now that he's gone, I really wish I could have had the chance. He seemed like a really cool guy, and it saddens me to see this ugly world lose yet another person. Now, the point of this episode is depression. It affects everyone differently. I like to think of it like sushi. It's got several layers, and the closer you get to the center, the better or worse, in the case of depression, it gets. But if you push just a little harder, you'll bite through the roll of delectableness and you'll come out through the other side. Swallow and think to yourself, that wasn't so bad. And each time you go through it, you learn better ways of coping with it. I don't want people to think they aren't worth something. I mean, there's only one of us. All of us. There's only one me and only one you. How do I know that I won't like you? I mean, how am I to know that you aren't like Mr. Carmichael? Well, there was only one of him, but what I mean is beautiful people. In this ugly, hateful world where all people want is to see others fall, I'd like to think that there's other people like me out there that are tired of seeing the world burn. It's time to put out the fire, people. A bit of a story for all of you watching, and it's connected to the game that you're seeing right here. As a kid, I wasn't exactly extraordinary. I had above average grades, I had one friend, I wasn't allowed to play sports, I got sick all the time, and my dad made just enough to keep our family afloat. But just being so average, it killed me inside. I had nothing. I couldn't boast to my friend about new things. I wasn't good at anything. I didn't even really have many friends I could boast to stuff about. But then I got hope. A blue, red sneaker-wearing streak of hope. I was about 7 years old when my brother, who didn't live with us at the time, donated his old Sega Genesis and a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now you're thinking, Nick, Sonic's really fast, so he is extraordinary. Well, not really. He's got one skill. He can run. At the time, I had one friend. He had one friend. He had Tails. I had my friend, and he had his, and that was all we had. And he could take 2, maybe 3 hits. I probably couldn't take even that much at the time. And both of us, both me and Sonic, we had this strange knack for picking up crap we find on the ground. We were perfect. Every day I would race home from the bus to have more adventures with Sonic. My friend who lived about an hour away, he couldn't come over and play with me, so we just talk. We talk about our favorite songs in the soundtrack, our favorite levels, or the fastest ways to beat a certain boss. And one day, he comes to me with this black box with a red spine in his hand, and he hands it to me and says, "I'll let you borrow this for 2 weeks." I was so excited. I ran in a circle and I read the title out loud, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It was great. I went home and I played it and loved it. The music, the level design, the atmosphere, the tight controls. Tails could fly on command now. Sonic had a new enemy. It was really, really good, and for once in my life I was happy. I was satisfied. I had something. But midway through the second week, he didn't show up at school. I thought he was sick. I wanted to tell him about how I beat Sonic 3 and how I was going to go and get the expansion Sonic and Knuckles the following weekend, but I never actually got the chance to. 2 weeks passed and then another. He wasn't at school. He didn't show up. I had his game in my bag every day, and I was waiting to return it to him, but I couldn't. Then one day his mom came to pick up his younger sister, who was a few grades younger than us. I asked her where he was, and in a shockingly blunt, rather calm tone, told me that he died. She never said how or gave any explanation other than "he's not with us anymore," which were the exact words she used. It didn't hit me until I was about 2/3 of the way home, and I broke down. I started crying, and I realized I'd never get to see my only friend ever again. I'd never get to play with him or talk to him about games. I'd never be able to make fun of him for watching Dragon Ball Z or all the other weird stuff that he did that all kids our age did. We'd never get to talk about stuff like Digimon or run around and save the world. And I guess you could say my Sonic lost his tails. As years went on, I became bitter and angry. I would lash out at people. I'd start fights. I went to a new school a few years later, and on the first day I knocked a kid out. Another time I tried to choke a kid with the straps to his own bike helmet. And that continued until I moved to a third school. And everything it stayed the same at first. And then it sort of changed when a kid I didn't even know asked a very simple question, and I just happened to be in the area. That question was, does anyone here think they could beat me up? And like a reflex, my arm it shot straight up into the air, and we went to the park, talked shit the whole walk there, and we beat the living shit out of each other, and probably for a better part of an hour and a half. Our cheeks were swollen, our noses bleeding. We could barely stand, and the entire way back to school we were laughing. And it literally hit me at that moment that my Sonic may have lost his tails, but now he's got Knuckles. And ironically, it kept building up, and as Sonic started gaining new friends and people to help him fight, so did I. I wasn't alone anymore. And after that, I met Ryan Fan, who you guys don't know him yet, but you'll probably see his name in the credits of games in the future. And his brother Tyler, who you guys also don't know, but he's a damn fine actor. And Sam, who I think you'll get the point, you're not going to know a lot of these people. My best friend Sam Bryant, who I still think I won that fight, by the way, but you got some great shots in. And Regan, you are you are a massive loser, but I love you. You're going to grow up and you're going to be a husband and a father, but no matter what happens, you're always going to be Krillin to me. And don't go off thinking that's a bad thing, because Krillin is fucking awesome, and Goku wouldn't be who he is without Krillin. And Kid Zeal, no, fuck it. Fuck you, Kid Zeal. You're Gur. You'll always be Gur, but that's all right, because I love Gur. And I love you too. And Matt Our Live, we argue a lot, but you're a damn good friend, and without you, I wouldn't have this great channel. I wouldn't be here in front of thousands of people, sounding like I have throat cancer, playing video games. Thank you. Each and every one of you mean the world to me. And that goes double for you too. Yes, you. In front of your monitor, or maybe watching on your smartphone. You lucky fucker, I don't even have a phone, I don't even have a normal phone. Or maybe you're watching on a game console. You mean someone to some. I nearly messed that up. You mean something to someone, and you mean something to me. To paraphrase the late Justin Carmical, because I'm not very good with this, and also because he said it really well. He said it better than I could ever say it. Don't ever let someone tell you you're worthless. You're all important to someone. I've never had someone say that to me, and I think if I did, I wouldn't have grown up so bitter and angry. I would have had friends much sooner in life. But with all that said, I'm happy that things played out the way they did. This is the VGViking telling you I love you. All of you, each and every one of you. You're my everything, really. Every one of you. Have a good day, and I hope you do well in whatever it is that you do today.